Okay, looks like we're now live. Do I have somebody who's watching already? I'm going to go ahead and message Twitter and see if anybody wants to join us from there, and then we can get started. I think I've got DVR set up, so it's going to record this episode as it's happening. But I thought I'd give streaming this thing a try, and hopefully it'll come out all right. So, I mean, like I said, this is the first time I'm using YouTube Studio, so hopefully everything's set up correctly and you can actually hear me. Otherwise, that'd be a little bit of a bummer. Okay, so today we're going to be creating iamSanna, I guess is her name. We're going to be creating an avatar for her to be put inside of my Roblox gallery that I've made of renders. I think it should turn out all right. Okay, so this is her avatar right here, and I've already gone ahead and put it in the studio, so you can see my gallery on the backside here. But we're going to take her character and make it look like these other ones. So, like this. This is actually the person who referred me to this person. So I do two different things right now. Actually, three different ways people get in the gallery. One of them is by paying a commission, and then I'll create their character and give them a render, and they can use it for thumbnails and things like that. Another way they can get into the gallery and have one of these renders done is by tuning into the weekly raffle. So I'll make a post on my Twitter and see if anybody wants to retweet my post. And once they've done that, and they followed me, then I enter them into, I write their name on a wheel, a virtual wheel on the computer, and then I spin it, and it'll choose a name off of the wheel. And the last way people can get in is by doing this. So I like to do a render of somebody and then ask them who they want to have rendered next. And well, this time it's gone over to not iamSanna, which is kind of confusing when you're trying to do somebody's icon and their name is saying that they aren't the person that you're trying to find. But whatever, I should start asking for people's usernames. But I think this is the person that we want. Like I said, I haven't really seen their videos. I don't really know who they are. But I'm going to do my best to make a nice character render for them. So the first thing I like to do is I put their character in on one of these models here. Then I export it from the studio and bring it on over to Blender. So once we're in Blender, it doesn't seem like we have anybody watching right now, but because it's recording, you can come back and watch it another time. Give me just 1 second. I'm going to try and see if anybody wants to join in the stream. I don't know how to share links from YouTube for the stream, so this is going to be really interesting. Okay. And the tweet says, "Okay guys, I'm live on my YouTube streaming the creation of iamSanna's." There's a Y there. On her other stuff there's not a Y, so I'm just going to I'm just going to keep calling her Santa. Okay, and I'm going to tweet that. If there's someone actually here, would you go ahead and say something in the chat, just so I know it's all working here? Okay, well, I'm just going to get going with this. Because it's my first video, I'm pretty sure nobody's going to really... Or my first live video, I'm pretty sure nobody's going to tune in, really. Which is okay. Okay, so... Let me open recent. I like to start with one that I've already got. I've kind of got a base in. And for this one, this character is using just kind of the default Roblox female body, and so I'm going to go ahead and open one that has that body in use. In this case, it's this eye one. I don't want to save the changes to this one. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and rotate the character. Actually, I'm going to use turtles wear raincoats. I'm going to use that one because it has the same shape head. Just makes it a lot easier for me. Okay. Let me go ahead and rotate this back. I'm going to delete everything from this one. Sorry, penguin. Oh. The head was one of those items. Okay. Let's just check and make sure everything's still attached. Yep. Okay. So I like to, and recently I've been making these renders in front of just a blank background. I started out using like nature scenes and things like that. Oh, hey guys. How's it going? It's good to see you guys. Okay. So, what I like to do is I create like the base and stuff, and lately I've been putting them in front of these smooth backdrops because I really like how it turns out. I used to do them in front of like nature backgrounds and things like that, but I don't know. I don't really care to do that much right now. It's just the phase that I'm in, I guess. But you can get some really nice lighting that way, though. I might do a stream later on just showing how to convert a natural scene into something that you can use as a backdrop. So, okay. Let me move this. I'm going to put this back over here. Just get it centered up. Okay. First thing we want to do is I like to put subsurface scattering on all the parts that are kind of made of flesh. So basically what that is when light kind of goes through plastic or when it goes through somebody's hand. Like if you take a flashlight and you shine it up through your fingers, you can kind of see a red light coming through. That's what subsurface scattering is, basically. So you can see that there's some here. And this is actually the other person that I rendered today. I didn't record that one. But, okay. So the first thing we want to do is we go into our trusty paint.net program. After that, I go into... Let's see, I have all of the skins and textures saved in this Roblox renders folder, and you can see it's getting pretty full. So what I've been doing lately is I've just been searching. So I think, yep, okay. I'll just say not iam. Okay. You bring that over to paint.net, open the layer, and then, oh yeah, I'm going to create 2 layers here. This layer I'm going to color, or use the dump bucket, and completely fill it with black. What we're making is a mask, so that when we do the texturing later, it knows where to make translucent and where to make solid. So, alright, I'm going to hide this for now. Now I'm going to keep using the color selector. We actually want the magic wand tool. Okay, click on that. We're going to turn the tolerance down because we want the fleshy bits. Okay, this is very strange. It should be selecting this right here. Huh, that's bizarre. Okay. We can work with it though. I'm going to go ahead and switch that, and then we use our paint bucket to put some more right there. Then I'm going to go ahead and switch layers again, select that, and then use the paint bucket on this layer. And what you can see, what we're doing is it's just making a black and white image. That's just so that Blender knows where to make translucent and where to make solid. So you're gonna wonder how I'm gonna make you. If you keep entering the raffle, you might make it in, or at some point, if you get 400 Robux, I mean, at this point, I'm doing it for 400 Robux. That could change depending on different circumstances, but I won't get into that right now. Okay. I'm going to keep selecting the stuff that's skin and just filling it with our paint bucket. Okay, for this one I'm going to actually zoom in because it's kind of tiny at this point. Alright, that's definitely, like, it's usually not that complex to make one of these. That was probably the most difficult one, and it was just because for some reason it wasn't selecting. Oh, I know what I did. I didn't have the flood mode. I didn't have the flood mode set to global, so it was just selecting like, that's, alright, cool. Moving on. You save this as, and I usually put subsurf after, turn it to a PNG file, save it, and it has to flatten the image, and that's okay because we renamed it. And so it should have both files now. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is click on this, click on the head, and you can see I've got quite the web of stuff here. It should be all ready for us to drag and drop things in. So I'm going to go ahead and unconnect that and actually delete this. I'm going to delete this too. Okay. Really all we need for this character are these 3 nodes. Oh, actually this is good too. This is for roughness. That's just so it looks even more like plastic. Okay. I'll move this over here. Then I'm going to refresh this. So we've got our subsurface mask and we have our diffuse. That's what the main color is called, is diffuse. So I'm going to plug this into base color, and I'm going to plug this into color 1. And as you can see, it's moved the textures over onto this basic body here. Okay. Would I like to be in the UGC? Yeah, I'd love to make user-generated content. I think that'd be really fun. I'd have all sorts of ideas for making hats and things like that. So that's definitely something that I would be interested in doing. Sorry if I don't see your comments, by the way. I've got two different screens, and I've got this on the second screen, and it's kind of lower. It's on a drawing tablet, so it's kind of out of the way. I wish I could see it a little better on this screen, but here, that's it. Nope, I'm just going to leave it on the other screen. Okay. Now, what I'm going to go ahead and do is import all the hair and everything like that. So what I do is I go into import, and then I experimented with this Roblox animations rig import, and it worked for the most part. And then I upgraded Blender to 2.8 and it stopped working, and then I downgraded to 2.8 and it stopped working even for that. So I don't know what's going on with it. So right now I'm going to just do the way I've been doing it the whole time. So you go to Wavefront, OBJ, let's see, what did I name it? Ah, there it is. Not iamSanna, because that's not confusing at all. Okay, I'll import the object. Let's see. Okay, it's way over there. That's okay. You just go to Object, Set Origin, and then go down to Center of Mass, and it'll put the origin back over there. I'm going to go ahead and click on that actually. I'm going to Shift S, Cursor to World Origin, and then I'm going to Shift S again, Selection to Cursor. Alright, so now we've got this giant person who is facing the wrong way. That's okay. We're going to fix that. The way we fix it is, let's click here. Okay, now I've got the head highlighted. This is the scale. So you can go ahead and rescale things based on these numbers here. So I'll copy that. Going to click on this and then paste that scale. Alright, so now it's scaled perfectly for the size we need. Now we just got to flip it around, which is really easy to do. You just hit R and then 180 and Z. There. Let me move this into place. It doesn't have to be exact, but it does need to be close, just so it looks natural. You don't want the wig to be your wig. For these characters, it's actually their hair, so we don't want their hair to be, you know, like 3 feet off the body, or like an inch off even would look weird. So you just try to get it as close as you can, and generally that's when things start to kind of exist in the same place. Like this is starting to do. You'll see a little bit of this, and that to me looks pretty close. Yeah, okay. See how the face is kind of clipping through there? That means we've done a good job. You go into edit mode from here, because it's counting it all as one item. It all looks like it's separate, but it's really counting it as one mesh. When you move it over from Roblox, it likes to turn it into this, and it also likes to what is it? It also likes to separate them, so all these faces are being counted as like together, but not touching each other, if that makes sense. So what I want to do is, it used to be that you'd hit Alt-M, but with this new Blender update, I think I'm on, 2.83, the shortcut is now just M. So I'll hit M, and then that merges all the points, and then I'll say by distance. So because they're existing in the same exact point, they're merged. So, alright. Now I'm going to hit P, and that'll start the separation, and I'm going to do not by select. There's different ways you can separate a mesh into different pieces, but because I've made them all kind of the same thing, I'm just going to say by loose parts. So now we have a bunch of different loose bits. So you can now take these and move them separately. So now is the part where I have to glue everything together. And if it had worked, or if this other thing had worked, when you go import and then import the model, it would have glued all those things together for me and made my life a whole lot easier. But we've got this kind of thing to deal with, so I'll try and get that working at some point, but right now it's just kind of going over my head. So, okay, first thing I want to do now, well, I guess not the first thing, but a thing that I would like to do now is glue all these little bits together. Okay, so we started. I usually do it until it starts selecting other things, and at this point it just started selecting the head stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Control J, and what that does is it joins a bunch of things into one object again. The reason we didn't want that before is because you couldn't move the joints and everything. So we're just separating everything into its own thing. So we want it all to be glued together, but we don't want it all to be stuck together, if that makes sense. Unless it's like all head stuff, in which case if it's all on their head, it's okay to put it all together. So in this case, I'd like to keep the hair separate though. It looks like we got some, looks like we got a weird artifact there. I'm not sure if that's supposed to exist. We'll figure it out. Okay, now I'm going to hit Control J. If all else if all else fails, we're just going to turn our head and you won't be able to see that anymore. What I think it is like maybe it's the normals that are kind of goofing up. Or we can look at the texture and see what's going on there. Well, it looks like it shouldn't be the texture, so. Let's see, just out of curiosity, because now I'm just thinking about it. Oh, yeah, it's definitely the normals. Okay, so I'm going to go into edit mode, and because this is a new version of Blender, it might all work differently, and we won't be able to figure it out. Not in the stream anyway, but okay. Oh, sorry guys, let me just look at what you've been writing. Thank you, Jaden. Those are some very kind words you're saying. I'm going to blow up now. I hope that's in the good sense and not like actually exploding. That would be unfortunate for me. I just barely got going. Okay, I've got a little bit of a cold, I think, right now. And so I'll be coughing on accident. Most of the time I'll try to mute my mic, but... Okay, let's go ahead and hit normals, recalculate outside. Okay, now I'm going to go into... Let's see. Okay, well that worked. I just deleted one polygon. That'll do it for us. There seem to be a couple of bugs going on here, but that's okay. Well, that was the only bug that happened, so I don't know what caused that. It really shouldn't have done that. Anyway, we fixed it. That's like slapping flex tape on a leak. It'll hold for now. Okay, let's keep going until it starts selecting stuff that isn't her hair, like right there. Okay, now I hit Control J again, and that'll put it all in the same object. Now I'm going to go ahead and find more things. Okay, so we've got some legs that are fused together. I'm going to delete those. Next thing we want to find... Okay, I'm pretty sure all of this is going to be stuff we don't want. Yep. Perfect. Now we're going to see what it looks like with the current setup. Oh, and I should save this actually. I'll save it as something else so I don't accidentally save over this. I like to keep all of my files just in case I have to revisit them. So you never want to just like save progress when you started working on another one. So okay, we're going to name this iamSanna. Okay. Yep. That's what we're naming it. Go ahead and move this down. I know we're going to animate it later, and it's, oh, yep. See, now you see what the next step is gonna what the next step's gonna be. Okay, so we're gonna go over here and everything. Oh, we've got this stuff saved in Backdrop. I'm gonna go ahead and drag this into the folder named IKEA's currently. I'm gonna name it character. Ugh. There we go. Okay, the reason I moved that out is because if I kept it in there and I hid the scene, see, I like to keep all my lights and my backdrops separate from each other so that I can revisit them as well, and I can just, it's simple as hiding and unhiding it. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is make this hair have just a little bit of subsurface scattering. So I'm going to enable that, and it gives it a really soft look. Kind of lets light pass through it a little easier, and oh, I'm sure you're not the equivalent of a peanut brain. Okay. I'm going to actually turn these into a separate material. So I select what I want to change. I come to my material here and then hit this icon. And what that does is it creates a duplicate material of what we just did. So now that I've done that, I want these things to glow. That's the goal here. So I'm going to create a new material is kind of what it is. I can't think of exactly what it is at this time for some reason. A shader, that's right. Okay, we're making a new shader, and this one is emission for emitting light. So what I do is I take it and I drag it up there, and then I drag it down here. So this is our texture file, and we don't need it there anymore. And what happens is something pretty cool. So if I were to hide this, all the things that have emission as the texture stay the same brightness. So I can turn this color all the way down, and you can still see them. When it's on light level 1 or strength 1, it looks like it doesn't have any shading at all. So that's pretty cool. But if I turn that up, they start to create light themselves. The man behind the bacon. Welcome. You've got the icon of Peppa Pig there. Um, that sounds a little bit like cannibalism. That's a pretty dark concept to bring up in this stream. Let's change the subject. Like I said, this is kind of a raw stream. This is my first one on YouTube, so okay. Let's make the backdrop visible again. We want these to glow a little bit so that we can see a little bit of nice bloom. Okay. Now I'm going to change where the focus is, just temporarily. I'll bring that there. Okay, let's go ahead and do a test render, just to see how it looks. Hey, that looks pretty good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and exit this, and we still have to rig the character up, because right now it's just kind of jumping around in that big glob of hair. Okay. I'm going to select the hair. Oh, no, actually, we need to select the skeleton. We go into pose mode, and you know you're in pose mode because the bones you select have this blue outline. Okay. I'll come over here, go into character, and see what that is. Okay, you know, since this is just kind of a particle effect, I'm going to leave it separate from any of the bones, so it won't move when the skeleton moves. We don't want that. Let's see, this is a piece of the hair, so I'm going to go ahead and Control P and make its attachment bone. What that does is it just kind of glues it to the bones. So I'll go ahead and do that for the hair as well. Bone, okay. Perfect. Sanna's character looked a little more complicated before we got into this. But it ended up not being so bad. There were a lot of loose parts that we had to glue together, but all in all, it wasn't the worst. So, okay. The next thing I want to do is decide on a background color, and I actually really like how this one is looking, but the last picture I did had a pink background, so I'm kind of hesitant to keep it that way. Maybe I'll do 2 renders, just because I like it. Okay, let me go back into object mode. And I'll show you what I can do to change the color of the background. It's really simple. I'm going to undo this, by the way, after, but just to show you. Here's what yellow looks like. Ooh, I really like that, too. I don't know. Oh, I don't know which one I should choose now. You know what? I really like the yellow. I think we're going to keep it. For sure. Okay. Now, because we've glued all of the pieces to the correct bones, we're able to change the pose. I really like that pose. I'm going to scoot around down. And I'll select this bone here. Tap Y twice, and that lets us rotate her head. I want to accentuate the light on her face a little more. Her bangs kind of cover up all of the light sources that I have here, which is why I have this light source right here, and it won't... Oh, I'm in the wrong mode for that. I do really like this pose. Let's remember this. This is on frame 33. This in-between pose right here. Oh, you can see that her head rotated back. That's because I didn't lock the rotation. So hit R, hit Y twice, and that'll rotate her head. And then I'm going to go ahead and set I, Lockrot Scale. Okay. Go into object mode, move the light. I'm going to move it over here. Now I'm going to rotate it along the Z-axis. And let's see what that does for us. Oh, that looks lovely. I'm going to go ahead and move it a little further away. This is one of the funnest parts, is playing with the lighting. Give her a little bit more of a playful stance there. She looks like she's having a lot of fun, doesn't she? Okay, I like where everything's at. Let's do a test render again. Wow, that looks really good. Okay, let's play with the pose just a little bit, just to see if we can find something that we like a little more. Because I like this how it is, but actually, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to lock route scale again. So I'm going to go ahead and set A to select everything, lock route scale, and then let's do another test render. That actually looks really nice. I think it's a little different than what it was. I see a little bit of an issue here though. This right here, the thigh should not be in front of the sock, in my opinion. So I'm going to go ahead and try to position it so it's not. There we go. That to me looks great. You gotta watch that lock route scale. That looks beautiful. Okay, well, I'm going to see what I can do about these now. Now we're just kind of getting into nitpicky things. I want to be able to see the color on these rainbows a little more than I do. So I'm going to take it... I mean, it's fine how it is, but I want to see if I can do something to make the color pop. So, okay, I'm going to go into object mode, click those. We're going to create, well, we've actually got a separate material already. Okay, here's the plan. We're going to go into edit mode. And now, while we're in edit mode, we're going to select all the rainbows and make them separate from these twinkles. So I'm going to hit L on this one, L on this one, L on this one, L on this one. And what L does is it selects everything that's inside of a mesh that's touching it, like only the vertices inside of its own mesh. So I'm going to go ahead and hit L on this, L on this. And you can see that it's, because even though it's the same object, it's leaving the other stuff alone. I think that's all of them. Yep. Now I'm going to hit P, and we're going to separate it by loose parts. Oh, no, we don't want to do that, sorry. We want to hit P and then by selection. What that does is it turns what we had as one object into two objects. So we can position these wherever we want. I'm going to keep them where they are, though. The only reason I did that is so I can make it a different material. I could have left it together as the same object, but that's okay. You can assign two different materials to the same object. I just decided to make them all separate anyway, just in case we wanted to move them around. Okay. I'm going to go into emission and turn this back to 1. Let's try 10. Nope, that's way too much. And you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to hit this very important button here that turns them into different materials. Okay, and what that'll let me do is turn this one brighter, because I want the twinkles to have a little bit of a soft glow kind of look to them. I couldn't do that without making the rainbows all way too bright too. Okay, I think that looks really nice. Let's go ahead and move this one. So I'm going to go into edit mode. I'm going to hit L. I'm just going to just move it over a little bit so it's not clipping into her arm so much. So it's close to the same place as it was. Okay, nice. Now one last thing I'm going to do before we call this finished is I'm going to move the camera just a little bit up and just a little bit back so we can get some more of her in the frame. I think that's looking really nice. The balance and the composition, I think it's right where I want it to be. So now that I have it like this, I'm going to go to Image, Save As. Let's see. We want to save it into image outputs because we're outputting a new image, and I'm going to save it as. Okay. iamSanna. Save that. I'm going to take it into our trusty paint.net once more. We're going to close this search, go into image outputs. And this part is getting more difficult every time I do one. Put it here, open the image, and this is where I'm going to put my little stamp. There it is. Add as layer. We'll move it down here. Oh, you can't see it. Ah, there we go. There's a sweet spot with these. And you know what? I'm going to put it right here. It kind of blends in with the sparkles, so it's okay to do it. I don't like to use my signature in a way that'll distract from the rest of the piece. I'll usually put it down in the corner, or if it's not able to be seen, I'll put it somewhere else. But just, you'd never want your signature, well, at least me personally, I don't want to have my signature overtake the glances of whoever's looking at it. So I want them to be looking at the art itself. So let me save it as iamSanna, and we want to save it as a PNG, and it'll overwrite the one that we have in there. That's okay, we want that. Flatten it, and there we have it. I'm going to just open it so you can look at it, and I'm going to upload it to Twitter. Okay, yep, I'm still streaming. So let me type this in. Okay, I'm saying, okay, so at Raincoat Turtle suggested that I do a render of iamSanna's. I don't know why it has a Y on the end, but it does. And I'm gonna say. And here she is. I hope she absolutely loves this piece. I had a great time making it. Okay. And then go ahead and upload it. Oh, I gotta find it. I have a lot of files on my computer. Oh, it looks really nice in the preview window. Oh, I forgot to ask. Santa, do you have someone you would like to nominate next? And now it's good to tweet. Alright, well, the way I put this in the gallery is really simple, and because I have it open, I might as well just show you. I have all these things set up already, so I've made the process a lot easier for myself. I hit Alt-click, that lets you select things that are in a group, because I grouped all these things together. And then find Character Render, Surface UI, Image Label, hop on down to this, and then say Add Image, choose File. I go over to this, open that, Create. And what that'll do is it'll upload the image and get it ready for being approved by whoever approves it. Santa's elves. Santa's elves, not Santa. They're different people. We want to switch it to visible. And there it is, looking really nice. Oh wow, that's really funny. I've got these two really dark ones over here, and it's just kind of like, oh, what's the theme going to be? And then it goes to this pink and this yellow, and I think they look really nice next to each other. I'm really enjoying working on these renders and putting them in my gallery. I just hope that you guys also enjoy it too. So all I have to do is say File and then Publish to Roblox. Okay, I'm going to go over to the comments real quick and just... How's it going, Raimundo? You're kind of tuning in a little bit late, but the thing is, I've got this DVR mode going, so I think you'll be able to watch this video after I finish streaming, so no worries there. Oh, make you nope. I refuse. I'm sorry. But stay tuned for the raffle next week, because I'm going to do one for free then. But thank you guys for watching this. Oh, well, I'd rather discuss it not in the public chat, so thank you guys for... Oh, what happens if you find the room? It's just kind of like it's a little room for like taking pictures of your guy, like, so you can take nice pictures. It didn't work how I wanted it to, and so I think I'm going to actually remove that one. But I do have something else coming to the gallery that I'd really like to... I'm really excited about, and I want to think about it a little more just so I can flesh out the idea. But after the stream, I think I'm just going to go ahead and hop into the gallery, so if you guys want to join me there, I'll just be chilling in there waiting for this picture to be uploaded and you know, accepted. So anyway, thank you guys for joining the stream. It's been a blast, so keep it classy, guys.